So when you're doing a business plan, one of the things that you obviously want to talk about is things that you can control and things that you can't control and how you're going about doing it, right? So basically you've got things that you can control, which are your 4 Ps, your product, price, promotion, place. You could increase your price like Rolex or have a cheap one like Timex. Your promotion could be door-to-door sales or a big-ass website. You can make your product out of aluminum or steel, that's the physical features. And you can have one location or many locations, right? Like Tim Hortons, so that's your 4 Ps. Your 6 environments are things like politics, economics, social, cultural, technology, geography, competition. Those are things that you have to understand how it's affecting your business and respond to. But basically, in the beginning, you have to figure out what you want to do. The reason why you have to be very careful about this is because you can't afford to make a big mistake. Why? Because of competition. So part of being successful in business is not necessarily about doing the right thing, but about avoiding a really, really big mistake that you could not recover from. So that's why it's important to understand quite clearly what is your goal and how do you reach that. And everybody has some idea, somewhat nebulously, about what a goal might be. And if you said to them, well, what are the objectives you're going to get to reach that goal, they often write down things which are not in the proper sequence. For example, somebody said, I want to go to law school. Oh, so my objective is to study really hard. I said, no. To get to law school, you have to have an LSAT score, which allows you that year to get into that, that cohort. Studying hard is how you finish your undergrad to get into your law school thing. So you have to understand the proper sequence. So what I like to do is explain to students that if they understand clearly that goals are accomplished by achieving measurable objectives, not just objectives, but things you have to count, right? So for example, if you said, I want to have a happy life, what are some of the measurable objectives? Well, do you have a spouse? Do you have a place to live? Do you have a job with money to pay for it? Do you have health? All those things are measurable to some extent, right? So when we talk about businesses having a goal, sometimes they start listing things. Oh yeah, our goal is to rank #1 in sales, and we also want to do this thing. And I say, well, hold on, those aren't goals, those are objectives. The goal is something at the very top. There's no plural, there's just one goal. So I'll give you a simple example. If you said your goal was to be the largest car dealership in the GTA, that could be broken down into 3 or 4 measurable objectives by geography. You could say the largest car dealership in North York, the largest car dealership in Mississauga, the largest car dealership in Scarborough and downtown. Now the reason why you might do that is because as you are selling cars, you're keeping track of things, right? Because you have to measure stuff. Because what you don't want to do is be cited by Einstein for his comment that the most stupid thing you can do is the same thing over and over again, expect different results, right? So you have to count stuff to see where your strength is and your weakness. So if your sales in Scarborough are poor, then you take some people at the Toronto office and do that, right? So the thing about objectives is they have to be measurable and countable so that you can then change your plans. So it goes goal, objective, plan, strategy, and tactics. Now, what's the difference between an objective and a plan? And an objective is the statement of something which you want to accomplish, which when accomplished means you've reached the goal. So I'll give you a simple example. Let's say my goal is to be the strongest man in the world. By definition, that could be 3 things. It could be able to bench press a large amount, like 800 pounds. It could be deadlift, 1,000 pounds, or squat, 900 pounds. If I achieve those 3 things, I could therefore say I am the strongest man in the world, right? Now the plans are the sequence of things you do with a time element to reach that objective, right? So you wouldn't say, well, I'm the strongest man in the world. Well, not right now, but next year I will be, right? So a goal has to be a thing that is accomplished. It's finite. So your objectives are stating what you do. The plans are what you do when to reach that objective. So a plan would be, okay, right now I know from my research that there's somebody around that can bench press 50 pounds more than me. So my plan is to spend a little bit more time on my bench, okay? Now, you've got goal, objective, plan, strategy, and tactics. Strategies are the sequence of specific things you do, like doing your bench on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And tactics are things like close grip, force reps, arch back, not arch the back, things like that. So a tactic is usually when you talk about some little physical thing you're doing in a sequence that leads to a strategy connection. So in business, You have companies establishing a goal, like they could say we want to increase our sales on a continued basis in low double-digit percentages for the next 10 years. Why? Because if we don't, our shareholders will leave and go someplace else. So they could have 3 or 4 measurable objectives. They're going to be the largest by sales in North America, the largest by sales in Europe, and the largest by sales in Asia. So what are some of the plans? In North America, they're going to partner with celebrity athletes. In Europe, they're going to partner with celebrity models and singers. And in Asia, you're going to partner with celebrity movie stars and Bollywood stars. So they might have 3 slightly different things. But then the sequence of strategies and plans might be somewhat similar. You know, the way you get to those celebrities, right? And the things that you offer them to be part of that, and the tactics, how you get them to, you know, cite things and social media and all those kinds of stuff, right?